been a long time since I've had a chance to work in my shop, and right now I am helping a good friend out who is going to the SHOT Show in Las Vegas later this month, and I'm building a card rack for him, and this will hold his fine art cards. And you probably have seen a few videos that I have posted recently on my channel, and these are to help Dan Rickards out, an awesome wildlife, western, and landscape artist who works out of a gallery, the Clearwater Gallery in Sisters, Oregon. And it's always fun to be able to do a project to help a friend out. And I thought I would, well, I'm modeling a YouTuber that I respect quite a bit, Mad Bad Voodoo, and one of the things I used to like a lot about his channel is his table talk political discussions, and he doesn't do them quite as often as he used to, but I really enjoyed that. But I liked how he would always have a scene going on his bench, and he'd be cleaning one of his favorite firearms and talking about politics. And I thought I would use that format to talk about some things coming up for me, and kind of showcase this little piece of work that I'm doing right now. One thing I'm doing that I thought would be fun to show is I'm in the middle of working on this project, and the board that you see right here is this front board. Now, some of you may look at this and consider this a defect, and I actually look at this as a very interesting highlight that's characteristic of cherry, and this is an inclusion pocket that I found when I was planing the piece to final dimensions. Now, I could very easily just flip this over and put it on the inside of the card holder, bury it back in here, and you wouldn't see it. But I'm actually going to use it as an interesting sort of highlight of the rustic nature of cherry. And what I do when I see these, and I like to include these in furniture that I build, is rather than leave it as a defect that you can catch your hand on or piece of fabric, what I do is I fill it with epoxy, and then I scrape it. Typically just use a cabinet scraper. I'll scrape it flush to the surface, and then as I finish it, it actually forms a clear, barely perceptible filling, but you still get to appreciate the inclusion pocket and all the intricate grain that comes with an inclusion pocket. So the way I do that is I'll mix some epoxy up in this cup. The first thing that I do is I'll take half-pound cut blonde shellac, and I'll put a thin wash coat so that when I put the epoxy on, if any of it flows out onto the surrounding wood, it won't actually soak into the wood. And then when I scrape it flush, all that will be left is just the edge of the pocket and the epoxy. Shellac, as you know, is alcohol-based, and I always keep a bottle of half-pound cut shellac. I mix it myself, and I've got some videos on that. It's pretty easy to apply. You can wear gloves if you want for the safety guys out there, but it's just denatured alcohol and shouldn't cause any problems. And I just put a thin wipe on, just like that, and we'll let that dry while we mix up the epoxy. So I'm just going to use some 5-minute epoxy here. One of the exciting things for me and my wife Beth is we have an opportunity this year to attend the SHOT Show, and we're going to go, and we've got a list of vendors that we want to go meet and talk to, and a couple of the vendors are actually suppliers for our AMP3 kits, so that'll be fun to talk with them. There are a ton of YouTubers that will be documenting SHOT Show. And what I'm going to do is try and just give it my little spin and there'll be plenty of guys and gals. There's a couple going that will be, I'm sure, reviewing firearms and that sort of thing. So I think my goal and Beth's goal is to give a different perspective of SHOT Show, and hopefully be able to have you guys tag along on that adventure. We've already gotten some messages from a couple of folks that will be meeting us there, and we might even get a little video of them as well. And in celebration of that trip to Las Vegas and the SHOT Show, we also have released a, well, temporary, it's hard to, I don't know how Mad Bad Voodoo does this. It's I always want to concentrate on what I'm doing there. We have released a new kit, a limited production, and we'll see how it goes, but it's the AMP3 Range Medic, and we put that on our website. I'll roll in a couple of pictures of the Range Medic, but it is a kit that features the IFAK, the Bloodstopper toolkit, and a chest seal kit, and it comes packaged in one of our custom-made red MOLLE bags. And we also include with that a package of Hoo-Ha field towels, and that's a great setup, nice option for you to have in your range gear. And I was pretty excited, and I won't mention the purchaser, but a new customer for us, but within less than 8 hours of posting that kit, I think we built 4 kits, and the first kit already went out the door, and that was pretty exciting for us. All right, I'm going to get my heat gun, and I use the heat gun to help bring any bubbles that are in the epoxy to the surface. So we'll show you that in a minute. So I just use a heat gun, and it will bring the bubbles to the surface. You can probably see some of them popping. And that just makes the epoxy clear. All right, well, I'll let that cure, and then I just use a cabinet scraper and scrape the epoxy flush, and then as I finish sand, it will basically be a nice flat but almost clear inclusion pocket that will be, I think, a nice feature that is characteristic of Cherry. So underneath this I've got another little project, or a piece of this project, and that is the backboard, and I will be showing this a little later on, but the next step in the process for me is, and I think one of my favorite woodworking processes, and that is vacuum veneering. And I'm going to vacuum veneer clear cherry on this backboard, and then we'll mount the card holder to that. For those of you that are interested, please tag along. We'll be taking the video cameras to SHOT Show 2012. Beth and I are very excited, and I'm going to be excited to deliver this to my good friend Dan Rickards, an awesome artist, and maybe we'll get to interview him at SHOT Show as well. All right, guys, thanks for tagging along.